What needs to change for Derby County going forwards as we head towards the game versus Wrexham at the weekend? Now, in my opinion, the balance in midfield is very, very off, and the back three is a situation which just doesn't work for Derby County. Now, obviously, do not get me wrong. John Eustace utilised it well last year, but heading into this season, and with the players we've now got in the squad, I don't think the back three is the way to go. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of decisions about tactics and about players in certain positions over the course of the next few months as we head towards the January transfer window. But one thing that John Eustace has got to do is start picking up some points, because the performances have been very, very lacklustre over the course of recent weeks. A lucky win against West Brom doesn't change that either, and that's something which we're going to discuss in this video. Do Derby County need to change systems? Do they need to change their midfield balance? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Check out the likes of NordVPN, Kitbag, and loaded down in the description. But shall we get into it? Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Now, obviously, one of the big topics of discussion in regards to John Eustace's team is, where is David Ozo, and why is David Ozo not starting football matches? Now, don't get me wrong, I believe that the treatment of David Ozo is very, very smart by John Eustace, making sure he doesn't pick up any of those little niggly injuries that he had last year, which ended up turning into something a little more long-term. But we haven't seen the defensive midfielder step onto the pitch in competitive action since he gave away the penalty against Ipswich Town. Now, in my personal opinion, there's a lot of problems for that Ipswich Town game, and I don't think it all falls onto David Ozo. And in my opinion, we need David Ozo in the middle of the park, because he's a player who not only has that technical ability, but can also make things happen in that sort of forward area. He can make things happen defensively as well, and I think that's something that Derby County are missing. I think Ibo Adams is a very, very good player in those defensive areas. I think Lewis Travis can do a little bit on both ends of the park, but I just don't think that they should be playing together. I think with Ibo Adams, you're lacking in that going forwards. With Lewis Travis, I think Lewis Travis is better than Ibo Adams, but I just don't quite think he's got that sort of knack for going forward, which ultimately is what Derby County are missing at the moment, and that's why we haven't scored enough goals recently. It's why we haven't created enough chances. It's why we haven't won enough games either. Now, we are going to have to wait and see how that develops over the course of the next week. We obviously play Wrexham this weekend. I believe they play in the Cup tonight, which is going to be a very, very interesting game. I believe they're up against Reading, but it's one of those for me where Derby County have got to pick up 6 points in the next 2 games, which is Wrexham away and Charlton at home, and that is going to come by essentially creating more chances. And I think that the main idea for Derby County to do that is for us to play a back four and move into that 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 scenario, where I think Derby County would, in my opinion, benefit from being in that system. I think you look at a player like Brereton Diaz, who could play off the left. You look at Clark, who could play off the right or the left. and I think they could be perfect for those positions. You even bring in a player like Andy Vyman who can play in behind Carlton Morris. You could even play Carlton Morris in behind Patrick Agyemang in a 4-2-3-1. But we are going to have to wait and see what John Eustace does decide to do. But for me, so far, he's made a lot of poor decisions this season. But there's a lot of work still to do if Derby County wish to be competing at the top end of the Championship. And that's something which we haven't done so far this year. Now, obviously, there is a lot of discussion points in that regard. Obviously, you've got the injuries and those sort of situations. But for me, you can't get away from the fact that we realistically are the master of our own downfall at the moment. We gave away 2 goals against Stoke. We gave away a penalty in the last minute against Ipswich. We scored late on against Bristol City. That's the only positive really. And the goal late on against West Bromwich Albion as well. But it's one of those for me where I am really, really disappointed by current performances. Do I think that we need to be putting questions on John Eustace's door? Not just yet, but I do think that we're heading closer and closer to that potential time period. Now, obviously, everyone will have their own opinions, and that is completely fine. Everyone will know how they would like to take things forward, and I believe that is A-OK. But for me, we've got to be making different sort of choices from the time that we make subs to the players that we start in games. Like, for me, I genuinely think there's a possibility we play 4-4-2 on Saturday. Agyemang and Morris up front, a midfield 4 of Briatan Diaz on the left, Clark on the right, Travis and Adams in the middle, a back 4 of Fozzie, Clark, Sanderson and Johnston, with obviously Zetterstrom in goal. Now, personally, Clark isn't necessarily who I'd want on the right, but ultimately we don't really have anybody else to play in that position. But I think that is a massive possibility over the course of this weekend. Now, you can obviously let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. We will be live from 6 p.m. later today, playing a bit of FC26 as we have done for the last few days. So if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Check out NordVPN kit bag and loaded down there in the description, as well as getting over onto the Discord as we're building a bit of a community over there. So thank you all for watching this video. I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice.